Hi guys, today is the 5th of July 2019 at 41 minutes past 1 in the afternoon over here in the UK. And first of all, let me apologise for being away so long and my last video being just a date, July 15th. I didn't have time to make anything else and I've had a lot of things going on. But to explain why July 15th, it's basically the Julian calendar, which runs 13 days behind the Gregorian calendar, which means our watch date of the 2nd of July could actually be the 15th of July on the Gregorian calendar, which is the 2nd of July on the Julian calendar, which means the 3rd of July would be the 16th, the 4th of July would be the 17th, and obviously the 17th I also have on watch 17th of July, so this is the reason. The Julian calendar is still used in parts of the Eastern Orthodox Church, in parts of Oriental Orthodoxy and Anabaptism, as well as by the Berbers. So it's possible that others use it, such as the makers of the I Pet Goat 2 video, or, Skull and Bones, what have you, what have you. We've seen a lot of events take place over the last couple of days, and I'm just going to go through some of them very quickly. But one event yet to come up is the christening of baby Archie, which is set for tomorrow, July 6th. So if there's any significance with this baby, the birth, there was some significant events around that time, and now the christening is coming up, or the baptism, whichever, and there could be some more significant events around that time. So keep your eyes open. Obviously, I'm going to get to a lot of things right now. So first thing is Iran is warning that by July 7th, so by Sunday, they are going to surpass the 3.67 limit that they have on their uranium. And they said they can go to any level they like. Which means that as soon as they go past that 3.67%, and it's been confirmed by whatever resources the Allies would use, most likely something's going to happen, because it's a red line, and Israel is preparing to launch an attack on Iran. They have been stepping up their attacks on Iran in Syria in the last couple of days and weeks. But as I say, if they go past the 3.67%, we're going to see, some things take place. There's also been a recent incident involving the UK. The UK has just seized an Iranian oil tanker over violating sanctions. Apparently, it was on its way to deliver oil to Syria, so the UK seized the oil tanker. Iran has summoned the British ambassador in Iran to kind of, I guess, explain and to deliver a message or messages to the UK. We have Iranian officials threatening to retaliate and do the same to a British oil tanker. So with the threats on these oil tankers going down, we'll keep an eye on the stock market and the price of oil, because news like this and actions like this are going to have real world effects on those things. The key thing to obviously watch out for here is, as this action takes place, it is under the same category as an embargo, and Iran has said that if their oil is embargoed, they will block the Strait of Hormuz. And obviously, with them saying that they're going to enrich their uranium past the agreed limit set by the JCPOA in the 2015 nuclear deal, it's likely that events like that are soon going to unfold. India is defying Donald Trump and Washington and pledges to continue trade with Iran. Obviously, the reason I bring up India is because they're heavily referenced in
it's similar to the decision he made back in November.
Thank you. They're heavily referenced in the I Pet Goat 2 video, and they had obviously the Kali image beamed onto the Empire State Building with images of tsunamis and nuclear explosions, and lots of different images were encoded into the flashing images that they beamed onto the Empire State Building. If you would like to, you can go check it out. Just type in Kali Empire State Building and you'll be able to watch the video, and you'll see as the images are changing, there's other images that are being shown within it. It's all very just like them to do it, you know, very cryptic, very evil, very subliminal, but also very in your face. I mean, it's subliminal messaging, but it's right on the face of a massive, well-known building, you know, in the United States. Loads of people looking at it, but not many people seeing it, if you understand what I'm saying. So there we go. Trump and Taiwan. So he wants to sell stuff to Taiwan, military equipment, tanks, planes, and obviously this is angering China. The Taiwan or Taiwanese president is due to visit the United States sometime this month. Hasn't been specified as of yet, I don't believe. It may have been now, but I haven't seen it. I'm guessing it's going to be sometime in the middle of the month because I believe the president of Taiwan is going to be traveling outside of the country between the 11th of July and the 22nd of July. So I think at some point in the middle, or maybe near the end, they'll make that visit. If it is near the middle, say around July 15th, that may, you know, give rise to China coming forward, you know, more angry. I think Taiwan is their red line. As I said before, you know, they've been through trade war, they've been through the South China Sea issues, and they haven't really gone forward in terms of aggressiveness with their military. But Taiwan and that whole one China policy is a red line for them. And, you know, along with selling military equipment to Taiwan, if, you know, the United States and Taiwan, for example, agree some sort of deal while the Taiwanese president is in the United States, then there we go, angering China to the point where they come forward. You know, whether that's with just retaliations in terms of rare earth materials and affecting the stock market, or, you know, actually pushing forward aggressively, you know, with North Korea and South Korea, with Taiwan, with the South China Sea issues, you know, even up in Alaska, there's Russia, China, and, you know, the European powers vying for drilling rights, you know, to suck more oil out of the planet, as if they don't have enough. On to the big news. The earthquake, the Los Angeles earthquake, well, the California earthquake taking place in Ridgecrest, near to Death Valley, or the Valley of Death, very biblical. Obviously, this is significant. California doesn't get a lot of earthquakes. When I got the alert, it came through as a Pacific tsunami warning alert, which said there was no tsunami threat. But when I saw the location was Central California, I had to, you know, double check, because I thought Central California, that's unusual. And then I had to quickly check how big it was, because I'm looking out for this 9 point something magnitude earthquake, which is going to be, you know, the really big one. Whether that takes place in California, on the West Coast, near Hawaii or New York, or, you know, somewhere else like the Indian Ocean or around Japan. Again, I'm not too sure on that, but I am 100% sure that there's going to be another 9 point something earthquake that's going to be very, very significant, and the results are going to be massive tsunamis and lots and lots of shaking. The 6.4 magnitude earthquake does bring me into mind of iPet Goat, because in the scene with the blue figure, which is, you know, referencing India at that point with the Kali mask, she does do the stamp on the ground, and on the ground is the number 6 or the number 9 upside down. So I think that it's possible it could be referencing the 6 earthquake, the 6 magnitude earthquake in California, but then also at the same time, obviously the other way around, referencing a magnitude 9 earthquake, possibly in the same region. They're now talking about aftershocks and the potential for the big one, and everyone should be prepared, get water, get food. You know, really does seem kind of ominous again. Obviously, we're looking at these times and we've seen a couple of things unfold. So with kind of like a test, a little jolt, a little shake to wake everyone up and say, look, this is about to happen. Get ready, get your stuff. And we'll see. North Korea, despite Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un having their little meeting in the DMZ, significant meeting for the first president of the United States to step into North Korea. North Korea is accusing the US of being hell-bent on hostile acts um, because of these sanctions. They want these sanctions lifted, and they want them lifted while they still get to maintain their nuclear power. And it seems as if that's where we're going, because Donald Trump is, you know, floating the idea of accepting North Korea as a nuclear power. There's a movie, I can't remember what it's called, but they do have North Korea there as a nuclear power, and they're all sitting around the table, all the world powers, and the United States launches a nuclear weapon, then everyone else launches a nuclear weapon, then the United States destroys their nuclear weapon, then everyone else destroys theirs, and that's how they get rid of nuclear weapons in that movie, obviously. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe I'll find that later and post it in my comments. But here we have the possibility of North Korea becoming an actual accepted nuclear nation. And again, that puts me in mind of the iPad Goat 2 video where the girl is running out and she's holding the peace flag, but on her cheeks are love and no nuclear, the nuclear sign. Let me just go there actually, 1 second. There we go. Okay, so you can see on her face there, the no nuclear, the love on that side. Obviously, a lot of people have pointed out these markings look like some sort of land formation. Japan, North Korea, South Korea, lots of different ones have been, excuse me, lots of different ones have been indicated. But yeah, on the cheek there, it's like no nuclear, love. But then it gets sad as they realize that's not going to happen. So maybe this is a reference to the failure of denuclearization, no nuclear, because North Korea is going to be allowed to keep their weapons. And obviously, if this girl represents Korea or South Korea, then that may be the suggestion that because the United States has accepted North Korea as a nuclear power, there's no longer going to be denuclearization, and that's why she's sad. And then obviously at the same time, we have the China reference there. Some of this may occur later on in the year. I talked about August the 3rd and August the 21st, 23rd, September the 21st, October the 10th and 11th, October the 31st, November the 5th, November the 11th, December the 5th, December the 21st, the 23rd, 25th, 24th, 27th, and 31st. So I have a lot of different dates there and different events taking place on those dates, because I don't think that all of these have taken place on the same day. And obviously, if we do think that some of the events that have unfolded in the last couple of months, starting from before Notre Dame, but Notre Dame was really kind of a one that you could easily see that connected. So kind of from there, moving forward, we've had all these different events that seem to be connected to this video, but none of them are taking place on the same day. So it's clear that this video is a timeline of events and different things are happening on different days. So it's just something that we have to watch out for. Now, something that I was watching out for was Stromboli erupting. Stromboli has erupted before, but this time it erupted on the day that I thought it might erupt, which was July 3rd. I'm not putting too much stock on that because it's erupted, but it's not erupted to that point where I think it's going to collapse just yet. That may be some time away, and may have some connection with Mount Etna at the same time. I'm just very interested in the way that the news reports are describing the actual blast. In this one, we have nuke-like blast. In the next report that I'm going to bring up is massive bomb erupts. And when you actually see the video, I'm just going to rewind. This is the video of the eruption. I'm going to try and make sure it's not loud. Can you see that in the background there? Now I can sort of understand why reports are saying it was bomb-like, it was nuke-like. The way that that exploded was very nuclear-like. And one of the possibilities that we've looked at in association with these volcanoes erupting is them being purposefully detonated by some sort of low-yield nuclear weapon. And it's a possibility. We just can't tell because obviously I'm not a scientist. I'm not about to go to a volcano to collect samples and see if they're saturated with uranium or plutonium or and cesium, radium, or any other of the toxic materials that could be generated from a nuclear blast. But I have the thought, and it's a possibility, so I present it all to you there. So, with all that said, you guys, that's pretty much the end of the video, end of the reports that I've got for you. Obviously, I think more are going to be unfolding quite rapidly over the next couple of days. I'm going to be out for this christening with this baby Archie, and because it's like a water event, possibly we may have some sort of water-like event happening at the same time. Tsunami, I don't know, flood, maybe a massive storm that causes a lot of flooding. I'm not sure, but keep an eye on those things. Um, as I say, July 15th on the Julian calendar is July 2nd, and that is just a possibility that those dates that we have on watch or had on watch may still come into play just using a different calendar, which is why I had the July 15th date video just there. Apologies for not being able to explain it very well or, at all, but no harm was done, and now you've got all the information that I have been working on since then. So you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.